Hello, and welcome to this problem on determining two equivalent payments now and in the future to settle a loan. We have the following problem to work with. Alexandra owes $12,800 to a friend who's charging her interest of 1.1% per month. Alexandra is required to settle the amount with two equal payments, one immediately and the other one in 3 months. We need to calculate the size of the two equal payments using 3 months as the focal date. And we need to round the answer to the nearest cent. To work with this problem, we need to identify variables that concern problems of simple interest. This is a simple interest problem. And in a simple interest problem, there are various variables like the principal, the amount of interest, the simple interest rate, and the time period. Here the principal is the amount borrowed. So write principal, noted PV, $12,800. The simple interest rate is the rate at which the principal is borrowed. We have simple interest rate equals 1.10%. And in calculations, interest rate is used as a decimal or fractional equivalent. So we write the decimal equivalent to this percent, and that decimal equivalent is the number we have here divided by 100. So we get 0.011. Finally, we have the time period. Here the time period is 3 months because Alexander is going to settle the amount within 3 months. Because the time period is the same units as, or in units that are that work well with the units for the rate of interest, then we don't have to turn those months into days or years or anything like that. Now, let's denote the payment that Alexander makes once and then after the 3 months by X. Alexander makes a payment of X dollars immediately, and then she makes a payment of X dollars after 3 months. Then Alexandra makes a payment of X dollars at the beginning, and that should match what she pays later on to settle the debt. If she makes a payment of X dollars immediately, she still needs to settle 12,800 minus X dollars of debt after 3 months. After 3 months, she's charged those $12,800 minus X plus the interest, the amount of interest that is charged for borrowing that money. The amount of interest comes from multiplying principal, which in this case is $12,800 minus X, by the rate, and then by the time period. So 3 months later, Alexandra is paying the principal that remains, $12,800 minus X plus the amount of interest charged for borrowing that money. And those two things should be the same, the X that she pays immediately and then the amount of money that she pays later on to settle the debt. So X should be equal to this quantity on the right-hand side. In other words, X should be equal to 12,800 minus x multiplied by 1.033. And from here we solve for x. We have that x equals, now we FOIL on the right hand side, get $13,222.4, then minus 1.033 times x. The 2.033x, as we move this term over to the left, we get 2.033x should be equal to 13,222.4. So x should be equal to 13,222.4 divided by 2.033. And that gives us the number 6,503.8858 and so on. And because we need to round the answer to the nearest cent, we take 2 decimal places into account to find that the size of the 2 equal payments is $6,503.89, or about that amount, because that's an approximate value. Okay. So to summarize what we did here, we can say the following. In this problem, the amount borrowed is the principal, and that's $12,800. The rate is a simple interest rate, and it's 0.011. The time period, which is the period of time for which the principal amount is borrowed, in which interest is charged or earned. In this case, charged is 3 months. And we have that if we note the size of the 2 equal payments by x, then x, what Alexandra pays immediately, should be equal to what she needs to pay later to settle the debt. And what she needs to pay later is the maturity value of the loan of $12,800 minus x, what she already paid. Okay. So that's all for this problem. If you have questions, please write a comment, contact me, and I will be happy to assist you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.